You're about to discover something that will completely change how you look at your vegetable drawer. Right now, sitting innocently in your kitchen, there's a vegetable that millions of Americans eat every single day, believing they're making a healthy choice. But what if I told you that this seemingly harmless green vegetable is quietly sabotaging your digestive system, triggering inflammation throughout your body, and could be the hidden reason why you're struggling with mysterious symptoms that doctors can't seem to explain? Picture this. Sarah, a health-conscious mother of two, starts every morning with a fresh green smoothie. She loads it with what she believes are the most nutritious vegetables she can find. She feels proud, virtuous even, as she watches her family drink what she's convinced is liquid health. But within an hour, her youngest daughter complains of stomach pain. Her husband mentions feeling bloated and tired. Sarah herself notices a familiar brain fog creeping in, the same fog she's been battling for months. She brushes it off as stress, as busy life, as anything but the truth staring her right in the face. What Sarah doesn't realize is that one ingredient in her morning ritual is loaded with natural toxins that evolved specifically to harm anything that tries to eat it. These aren't synthetic chemicals or artificial additives. These are nature's own defense mechanisms, compounds so potent that they can punch holes in your intestinal lining, trigger autoimmune reactions, and create inflammation that travels throughout your entire body like wildfire. The vegetable I'm talking about isn't some exotic import or genetically modified frankenfood. It's something you probably have in your refrigerator right now. Something you've been told is incredibly healthy. Something that appears in countless recipes, smoothies, and salads across America. But here's what the health industry doesn't want you to know. This vegetable contains compounds called oxalates, lectins, and natural pesticides that can be more damaging to your body than many of the processed foods you've been taught to avoid. Think about it. When was the last time you questioned whether a vegetable could actually be harmful? We've been so conditioned to believe that if it's green and grows from the ground, it must be good for us. But plants aren't passive victims in nature's ecosystem. They're chemical warfare experts that have spent millions of years developing sophisticated defense systems to protect themselves from being eaten. And some of these defense mechanisms are so powerful that they can wreak havoc on human physiology in ways that most people never connect to their diet. The symptoms start small. A little digestive discomfort here, some unexplained fatigue there, maybe joint pain that comes and goes. Brain fog that makes you feel like you're thinking through molasses. Skin issues that dermatologists can't quite pin down. Sleep problems that leave you exhausted no matter how many hours you spend in bed. Most people write these off as signs of aging, stress, or just bad luck. But what if they're actually your body's desperate attempt to tell you that something you're eating every day is slowly poisoning you? The vegetable hiding in your kitchen that's causing all this chaos is spinach. Yes, the same leafy green that Popeye made famous, that nutritionists have been praising for decades, that appears on every superfood list you've ever seen. But here's the shocking truth that's been buried beneath decades of nutritional propaganda. Spinach contains some of the highest levels of oxalates found in any commonly consumed vegetable. And these oxalates are quietly wreaking havoc on your body in ways you never imagined. Oxalates are like tiny glass shards that your body can't properly break down or eliminate. Imagine your digestive system as a sophisticated highway system, with smooth traffic flowing efficiently from your stomach to your intestines. Now picture thousands of microscopic razor blades being dumped onto this highway every time you eat spinach. These oxalates don't just pass through harmlessly. They accumulate, they bind to essential minerals like calcium and magnesium, and they create traffic jams that can back up your entire digestive system. But the damage doesn't stop there. When oxalates can't be properly processed, your body treats them like foreign invaders. Your immune system goes into high alert, releasing inflammatory compounds that travel through your bloodstream like an internal fire alarm. This inflammation doesn't stay localized to your digestive tract. It spreads throughout your body, affecting your joints, your brain, your skin, and every organ system you have. Think of it like this. Every time you eat that spinach salad or drink that green smoothie, you're essentially asking your body to process a substance that it recognizes as toxic. Your liver has to work overtime trying to neutralize these compounds. Your kidneys struggle to filter them out. Your intestinal lining becomes increasingly damaged as these sharp-edged molecules scrape against it day after day. It's like sandpaper being dragged across the inside of your digestive tract, creating microscopic wounds that never quite get a chance to heal. The most insidious part is how slowly and subtly this damage accumulates. You don't eat spinach and immediately double over in pain. The effects are gradual, building up over months and years of regular consumption. Your body's natural healing mechanisms keep trying to repair the damage, but they can't keep up with the constant assault. Eventually, your system becomes overwhelmed, and that's when the symptoms start appearing. But by then, the connection between your daily spinach habit and your mysterious health issues has become nearly impossible to trace. If you've been following along and thinking about your own health struggles, I want you to hit that subscribe button right now, because what I'm about to share next will completely change how you approach nutrition. The rabbit hole goes much deeper than just oxalates, and understanding the full picture could be the key to finally solving health mysteries that have been plaguing you for years. Here's where it gets even more disturbing. Most people who are trying to eat healthy are making critical mistakes that amplify spinach's toxic effects without even realizing it. The first mistake is eating spinach raw. When you throw raw spinach into smoothies or salads, you're getting the full concentrated dose of oxalates with none of the natural buffers that cooking provides. It's like drinking poison straight instead of diluting it. The second mistake is combining spinach with other high oxalate foods. Picture this scenario. You make a smoothie with spinach, add some almonds for protein, throw in a handful of berries, and maybe some cocoa powder for flavor. What you've just created is an oxalate bomb that delivers more toxins to your system than your body can handle in a week, let alone a single meal. Each of these ingredients is loaded with oxalates, and when combined, they create a synergistic effect that multiplies the damage. The third mistake is eating spinach on an empty stomach. When there's no other food to slow down absorption, these oxalates hit your system like a freight train. Your digestive tract gets the full brunt of the assault with no protective buffer. It's like taking a powerful medication without food, except in this case, the medication is actually a natural toxin that your body desperately wants to reject. The fourth mistake is consuming spinach regularly without giving your body time to recover. Your liver needs time to process and eliminate oxalates, but most health-conscious people eat spinach daily, sometimes multiple times a day. It's like asking someone to run a marathon every single day without rest. Eventually, the system breaks down. The fifth mistake is not recognizing the cumulative effect. People think that because they feel fine after eating spinach once, it must be safe. But oxalates don't work like food poisoning. They build up slowly in your tissues, particularly in your kidneys, joints, and other organs. By the time you start experiencing symptoms, you may have years of accumulated damage that your body is struggling to manage. The sixth mistake is trusting outdated nutritional information that doesn't account for individual biochemistry. The standard nutritional advice treats all bodies as identical machines, but the truth is that some people are genetically predisposed to have trouble processing oxalates. If you have certain genetic variations, eating spinach regularly can be like playing Russian roulette with your health. Your body simply doesn't have the enzymatic machinery to handle these compounds safely. To understand why spinach is so problematic, you need to think about plant biology from an evolutionary perspective. Plants can't run away from predators, so they've developed chemical warfare as their primary defense mechanism. Spinach produces oxalates specifically to make itself unpalatable and harmful to anything that tries to eat it. These aren't accidental byproducts of plant metabolism. They're sophisticated biological weapons designed to cause exactly the kind of damage you're experiencing. When oxalates enter your digestive system, they immediately start binding to essential minerals. Imagine your body as a finely tuned orchestra, where every mineral plays a crucial role in keeping the music of your metabolism flowing smoothly. Calcium helps your muscles contract, magnesium regulates your nervous system, iron carries oxygen through your bloodstream. Now picture oxalates as musical vandals that sneak into the orchestra and steal instruments from the musicians. Suddenly, the beautiful symphony of your health becomes a discordant mess of missing notes and broken rhythms. But the mineral theft is just the beginning. As these oxalate mineral complexes travel through your system, they can't be properly absorbed or utilized. Instead, they form sharp, crystalline structures that your body recognizes as foreign invaders. Your immune system launches an attack, sending inflammatory messengers throughout your body like emergency flares lighting up the night sky. This inflammation doesn't discriminate. It affects your joints, causing unexplained aches and stiffness. It reaches your brain, creating the fog and fatigue that make you feel like you're living life through a thick gray filter. The most shocking part is how these crystals can actually lodge in your tissues. Picture tiny shards of glass slowly accumulating in your kidneys, your joints, your muscles, and even your brain. Over time, these deposits can become so significant that they start interfering with normal organ function. Your kidneys, which are supposed to filter waste from your blood, become clogged with oxalate crystals. Your joints, which should move smoothly and painlessly, become grinding, inflamed battlegrounds where these sharp deposits scrape against delicate cartilage with every movement. This is why so many people who eat what they think is a healthy diet still struggle with mysterious symptoms that seem to have no clear cause. They're literally poisoning themselves with good intentions, one spinach leaf at a time. Here's the revelation that will blow your mind and explain why you've never heard this information before. The oxalate problem with spinach has been documented in scientific literature for decades, but this information has been systematically buried by an industry that profits from keeping you confused about nutrition. Think about it. If people knew that one of the most commonly recommended superfoods was actually toxic, it would undermine trust in the entire nutritional establishment. The agricultural industry has spent millions of dollars promoting spinach as a health food because it's incredibly profitable to grow and market. It's cheap to produce, has a long shelf life, and can be packaged as everything from fresh leaves to frozen blocks to powdered supplements. The last thing they want is for consumers to discover that their cash cow is actually a Trojan horse filled with natural toxins. But here's what's even more disturbing. The symptoms caused by oxalate toxicity are so varied and seemingly unrelated that most doctors never make the connection. A patient comes in complaining of joint pain, brain fog, digestive issues, and fatigue. The doctor runs standard tests, finds nothing obviously wrong, and either prescribes medications to manage symptoms or suggests it's all in the patient's head. Meanwhile, the real culprit sits innocently in the patient's refrigerator, being consumed daily in the name of health. The medical establishment has been trained to look for diseases and deficiencies, not food toxicities from supposedly healthy foods. It's like being trained to look for burglars while ignoring the termites that are slowly eating away at the foundation of your house. The damage is real, it's progressive, and it's happening right under everyone's nose. But the tools and training needed to recognize it simply aren't part of standard medical education. What makes this even more insidious is how oxalate toxicity mimics so many other conditions. The joint pain looks like arthritis. The brain fog resembles early dementia or chronic fatigue syndrome. The digestive issues get labeled as irritable bowel syndrome or leaky gut. The sleep problems are attributed to stress or aging. Each symptom gets treated as a separate issue, with separate medications, while the root cause continues to poison the system day after day. The reason this information is finally coming to light is because a small group of researchers and clinicians have started connecting the dots. They've noticed patterns in their patients that don't fit conventional diagnoses. They've started asking different questions and looking at nutrition from a toxicology perspective, rather than just a nutrient perspective. And what they've discovered is that many of the foods we've been told are healthy can actually be harmful to certain individuals under certain circumstances. But revealing this truth threatens a multi-billion-dollar industry built on the premise that all vegetables are inherently good for you. It challenges decades of nutritional dogma and forces people to think more critically about what they put in their bodies. The solution isn't to live in fear of vegetables or abandon healthy eating altogether. The solution is to understand that your body is unique, with its own genetic blueprint and biochemical needs. What works for one person might be poison for another, and that's not a flaw in the system. It's a feature that has allowed humans to adapt to different environments and food sources throughout our evolutionary history. If you've been struggling with unexplained symptoms and eating spinach regularly, there are specific strategies that can help you heal and protect yourself from further damage. The first step is to eliminate spinach completely from your diet for at least 30 days. This gives your body a chance to start clearing accumulated oxalates and begin repairing the damage. Think of it as giving your internal highway system time to clear the debris and fix the potholes that have been created by months or years of oxalate assault. During this elimination period, focus on truly low oxalate vegetables like broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, and lettuce. These vegetables provide nutrients without the toxic load that spinach carries. It's like switching from a car that leaks oil all over your driveway to one that runs clean and efficient. You still get where you need to go, but without the mess and damage. The second strategy is to support your body's natural detoxification systems. Your liver and kidneys have been working overtime trying to process oxalates, and they need extra support to clear the backlog. Drinking plenty of clean water helps flush oxalates through your system. Adding lemon to your water provides citrate, which can help prevent oxalate crystals from forming. It's like adding a lubricant to a grinding machine, helping everything move more smoothly. The third strategy is to heal your digestive tract. Months or years of oxalate damage have likely compromised your intestinal lining, creating inflammation and allowing toxins to enter your bloodstream more easily. Bone broth, fermented foods, and specific healing nutrients can help repair this damage. Think of it as patching and repainting a wall that's been scratched and gouged by years of abuse. The fourth strategy is to replenish the minerals that oxalates have stolen from your system. Magnesium, calcium, and other essential minerals need to be restored to optimal levels. But here's the key. You need to do this carefully and strategically, because taking the wrong forms of these minerals at the wrong time can actually make oxalate problems worse. It's like restocking a store that's been robbed. You need to know exactly what was taken and replace it with the right products in the right amounts. The fifth strategy is to time your mineral supplementation correctly. Taking calcium with meals can help bind dietary oxalates in your digestive tract, preventing them from being absorbed. But taking calcium between meals, when there are no oxalates to bind to, allows it to be absorbed and used by your body for its intended purposes. It's like having a security guard who knows when to stop troublemakers at the door and when to let legitimate visitors through. Let me tell you about Maria, a 34-year-old marketing executive who discovered this truth the hard way. For 3 years, Maria had been the picture of health consciousness. She started every day with a massive green smoothie loaded with spinach, convinced she was giving her body the ultimate nutritional boost. She felt proud of her commitment to wellness, especially compared to her co-workers who grabbed donuts and coffee for breakfast. But gradually Maria began noticing changes that worried her. Her energy levels, which had always been naturally high, started declining. She found herself struggling to concentrate during afternoon meetings, her mind feeling foggy and unfocused. Joint stiffness crept in, particularly in her hands and knees. She chalked it up to spending too much time at her computer and started doing more yoga. The symptoms intensified over months. Maria developed digestive issues that seemed to come and go without any clear pattern. Some days she felt bloated and uncomfortable after meals. Other days she felt fine. Her sleep became restless and interrupted, leaving her feeling exhausted despite spending 8 hours in bed. Most concerning of all, she started experiencing what she described as electrical sensations in her arms and legs, like tiny lightning bolts firing randomly through her nervous system. Doctor visits yielded nothing but frustration. Blood tests came back normal. X-rays showed no obvious problems. Specialists suggested everything from fibromyalgia to early-onset arthritis to anxiety disorder. Each diagnosis came with its own set of medications and lifestyle recommendations, but nothing seemed to help. Maria felt like she was trapped in a medical mystery with no solution in sight. The breakthrough came when Maria stumbled across information about oxalate toxicity during a late-night internet search. At first, she dismissed it as another health fad, but something about the symptoms described resonated with her experience. The idea that her beloved green smoothies could be causing her problems seemed impossible, but she was desperate enough to try anything. Maria decided to eliminate spinach from her diet for 30 days, replacing it with low-oxalate vegetables like lettuce and cucumber. She also started taking magnesium supplements and drinking more water with lemon. Within 2 weeks, she noticed the first glimmer of improvement. The electrical sensations in her limbs became less frequent. Her energy levels started stabilizing. The brain fog that had plagued her for months began lifting like morning mist disappearing in sunlight. By the end of the 30-day elimination period, Maria felt like a different person. Her joint stiffness had virtually disappeared. Her digestion normalized. Her sleep became deep and restorative again. Most importantly, her energy and mental clarity returned to levels she hadn't experienced in years. The transformation was so dramatic that she couldn't believe something as simple as removing spinach from her diet could have such profound effects. Maria's story isn't unique. Thousands of people are discovering that foods they thought were helping them were actually slowly poisoning them. The key is having the courage to question conventional wisdom and listen to your body's signals, even when they don't make sense according to mainstream nutritional advice. The truth about spinach represents something much larger than just one problematic vegetable. It's a window into understanding that your body is incredibly intelligent and constantly communicating with you about what it needs and what it wants you to avoid. Those mysterious symptoms you've been experiencing might not be signs of aging or stress or bad genetics. They might be your body's sophisticated alarm system trying to tell you that something in your daily routine is causing harm. This revelation should fill you with hope, not fear. If a food you thought was healthy has been making you sick, that means you have the power to change your health simply by changing what you eat. You don't need expensive treatments or complex medical interventions. You don't need to accept declining health as an inevitable part of life. You just need to listen to your body and give it what it actually needs instead of what you've been told it should need. The journey to optimal health isn't about following the latest superfood trends or forcing your body to conform to generic dietary guidelines. It's about becoming a detective in your own health story, paying attention to how different foods make you feel, and having the courage to eliminate things that don't serve you, even if everyone else thinks they're healthy. Your body is unique, with its own genetic blueprint, its own biochemical needs, and its own tolerance levels for different compounds. What works for your neighbor or your favorite health influencer might be completely wrong for you. And that's not a limitation, it's an opportunity to discover your own personal path to vibrant health. If this video has opened your eyes to the hidden dangers lurking in your kitchen, I want you to leave a comment below, sharing your own experience with mysterious symptoms that might be connected to foods you thought were healthy. Your story could be the key that helps someone else solve their own health puzzle. Hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell, because there are many more food myths that need to be exposed, and your health depends on knowing the truth. Remember, the most dangerous toxins aren't always the ones you can see. Sometimes they're hiding in plain sight, disguised as superfoods, waiting to sabotage your health one meal at a time.